It's time for the film room, and on this episode, we're going to take a look at Maryland cornerback Deonte Banks. Here's a player that kind of burst onto the scene during draft season, mocked in the first round quite a bit, and then goes on to have a big combine. And now we're looking at what looks to be a potential lock first round pick. And I wouldn't be surprised if he could be the third cornerback taken in this 2023 NFL drafts. So if you're not familiar with what I do in these film rooms, I'm going to take a look and highlight some different clips from games of Deonte Banks to showcase the type of cornerback he is and project him to the NFL. So let's not waste any more time. Let's get into the tape. Now, the first thing that really stands out about Deonte Banks is his speed. He's here at the bottom of the screen, number 3. He's going to be playing in some off coverage, and this receiver is going to come up on him. And in his back pedal, he's able to just then turn sideways. And, you know, it's one thing, he's got speed, but he's also playing off. I think it's leave it a little bit harder because the guy's coming at him full speed and he has to kind of turn and then catch up to him. But what I like here is he shows that extra gear. You know, this receiver kind of gets a little step on him and he's able to turn that extra gear, cut him off to prevent the completion. And it's just that pure speed, that effortless speed that he has. He's able to put it into that extra gear to get in front of him, cut him off, and prevent that deep ball. And it's just that acceleration and that top end speed is what you want out of that cornerback position. So it's one thing to have that speed and be able to run with receivers on the field, but to be a good NFL corner, you've got to be able to play the ball. And we see that with Deonte Banks. And he's lined up here at the top of the screen now. And there's going to be a deep ball thrown to him. Once again, he's there. Here he's playing mirror match. So he's lined up on top of the up close to the receiver. And at the snap of the ball, he's able to turn and run with them, using that speed to run with them deep, but then has that ability to play that ball. We'll see it from the end zone view. So he's got the speed to stick with that receiver deep. But then when he sees that the hands go up, he's able to get his hands in there, break up that pass, and prevent the long catch. And it's all because of he's got the speed to put himself in that position and just that ability to go up and break up that pass. He didn't make a play on the ball. He ended up playing the hands of the receiver. But in this case, it doesn't matter because what he's doing is he's breaking up the pass, and that's all that matters. And he just is able to go up there, get his hand in there, break up that catch point, and just stop that receiver from making this long catch down the sideline. So we're talking about Deonte Banks and his ability to break up passes, and we saw him working down the field. But he's also got that ability to break up the passes moving forward. So here he's lined up at the bottom of the screen. He tends to flip from side to side. They like to, at times, have him matched up with the other team's best receiver. And this is going to be a little kind of back shoulder comeback type route. We see the quarterback starting to make his throw right now. The receiver's looking back. And he ends up getting pushed up the field a little bit, kind of fights with them, and is able to come in there and burst forward to make a play on that ball and force the incompletion. I know there's a little hand fighting between both guys, a little push there, a little pull there, but it just shows that he's got this ability to read the ball in the air and go make a play. He's able to play the ball in the air. He's able to break up the catch point. Either way, just like the clip before, he is showing the ability to break up passes and force incompletions. One last clip looking at his ball skills. This actually might be my favorite one. So he's lined up here at the top of the screen now this time. And he's going to be running down the field. And once again, this time he's staying on top of this receiver. But what I like in this clip is he reads this pass. He reads that this pass, he's got his eyes on the quarterback, and he knows that this ball isn't going to his guy. So he's able to read that and then use his speed and quickness to get off of that to go break up this pass. And I know it's kind of hard to see, but he's able to, as we see right here, he's able to get his hand in there and break up that pass and force the incompletion. And so not only do you see the speed to stay on top of his receiver, but you see the instincts, you see the awareness to say, hey, I see where that ball's going, and then has the burst, has the acceleration to be able to leave his guy and go help out his teammate to break up that pass. Now, in the games that I watched, I wouldn't say that Deonte Banks is an overly physical cornerback. He's not like a Joey Porter Jr. where he wants to jam and bully you. But we do see occasionally what we see here. So he's lined up at the bottom of the screen here. And at the snap of the ball, he's able to put his hands on this receiver. And I wouldn't say that he's rerouting him, but he is pushing him and making him go a little bit wider. And I get that you'll say, oh, well, Brian, the ball was thrown quickly. The quarterback didn't even look over. He hit this guy in the middle right away. I get that, but it still showed his ability. I mean, he made this receiver have to go wide, nearly, towards the sideline, get him off of his route, taking a wide release. And it just shows that ability that to put his hands and force that. And then I just like his ability to look how quickly he flips those hips around. So not only is it impressive that he's able to make this guy go wide and kind of get off of his route, but then just those quick hips to flip around, get his eyes into the backfield, and be in a position to make a play. And you just see those athletic traits throughout his games just stand out. And this is one of those cases too, just those quick flip of the hips. Now, so far, every clip I've shown you is basically him working deep, covering the receivers. He does have that ability to play in the short and intermediate, so he's lined up here on the top in red zone. And I just love this play because it just once again shows quickness. He's able to read and just, he maybe kind of takes a little false step there, but then able to react. I mean, he's in that hip pocket of this receiver. And he does kind of have to guess a little bit, got a little juked, but he's able to use his burst. He's able to use his speed to quickly recover. And this receiver, yeah, he maybe got him a step on that release, but he was able to quickly recover and use that speed and quickness to be able to do so. And it just shows that he can also cover in that short to intermediate area. And then finally, the last clip I want to show is him in the run game. So he's going to be lined up here down at the bottom of the screen with no receiver on his side. We didn't see Deonte Banks do a lot of tackling, but when he did have that opportunity, he was someone that wasn't afraid to get his nose in there. And here against Michigan, a team that wants to line up with 3 tight ends on one side and run the ball, he was still able to contribute. And here, the hole's going to open up. He's going to step up. We see the hole opening right here on the left-hand side. He's able to come up and lay a hit and take the running back down. A lot of cornerbacks don't want to do this, but he'll come in, put his shoulder in, and take that running back. He didn't wrap up, but he laid a good enough hit on the thigh of the running back on Blake Corum here to be able to take him to the ground and prevent this run from being anything bigger. He gets past Deonte Banks on this. I mean, he gets past him right here, and it's basically a foot race between him and the safety. And so Banks is able to get in there, put his shoulder on him, and bring him to the ground for a minimal gain. there is a lot to like about Deonte Banks as a cornerback for the 2023 NFL Draft. Here's a guy that's 6 foot, 197 pounds. So he's got solid size. I mean, you'd love for him to be 6'3", over 200 pounds. But I think 6 foot, 197 pounds is a good weight. I mean, he's a guy that ran a 4.35 40 at the combine. Showed his top end speed there, just like we saw. So it's not like he ran a fast combine time. I mean, you watch him on tape, you see that speed, you see that second gear that he has. So it's no surprise he ran that fast of a time. He also put in a 42-inch vertical leap and an 11-foot 4-inch broad jump, showing off that explosiveness, what we saw on tape. So not only did he test at an elite level, but that stuff shows up on tape. And like I said at the beginning, this is kind of a deep cornerback class. We could see a lot of cornerbacks go, especially in the second half of the first round. It looks like Devin Witherspoon and Christian Gonzalez are going to be your top corners. Deonte Banks, I think, is in a position to be that third cornerback taken. I know Joey Porter is up there by a lot of people, and I wouldn't be shocked or surprised the least if Joey Porter was the third cornerback taken. But I actually like Deonte Banks better. I think he's got better instincts. I think he's got better top-end speed. Porter's a little bit bigger, and he's more physical. But I think Banks is, in my opinion, a better corner. And so I think his athleticism, his speed, he's got decent size. A lot of these corners, we got Emmanuel Forbes is a guy that I like, and he's, really light. And some of these other cornerbacks are kind of light or small. And I think Banks, with his, 6 foot 197, it's not big by any stretch of the means, but he's heavier than some of those other cornerbacks. He's a little bit taller than some of those cornerbacks, and then he's got that top end speed. So I'm a big fan of his. I think the second half of the first round is kind of where he's going to go, so 16 or later. But I'm willing to bet he will be a first round pick, and a team looking for an athletic speed corner, especially one that plays more of a press man. I think that's where those teams are going to be a big fan of Deonte Banks. So that's going to go ahead and do it for this episode of the Film Room. Remember, the best way to get these is to subscribe. So make sure you hit that subscribe button, hit the bell for all your notifications. Make sure you follow me on social media as well. Draft_Brian is where you can find me. Doesn't matter what social media it is, Draft_Brian. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Till next time.